Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out XRP's price chart, and I'm actually going to show you a very important signal, which in most cases leads to very strong bull runs in Ripple. Now, before we get into all that, let's see what is going on in Elliott waves. And I think the last time that we talked about XRP, we were right around these areas, and the idea was that it's kind of tough to identify a 5-wave on the upside in here. Why? Because let's go on like 15-minute time frame. Okay. If you want to argue that from this point we are having like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to about this height, then okay, in that case your wave 3 is the smallest wave, which is a huge no-no in Elliott's waves. This was the main reason for why back then we said odds are in XRP we are having a correction structure, and after it's over we are probably going to see yet another move down in order to take the lowest slow down here about, let's say, $2.9, and we may just go like a bit lower than that. But please understand that is not going to be a bearish sign at all. Okay, in fact I believe it's just going to be part of the bullish process. And let's go on H1. Okay, you see, on a higher degree in XRP, I think starting from the lowest slowdown here about $1.6, we are having a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up into a wave 1, followed by most likely an ABC flat into wave 2, and this can be 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this wave 3. And if this scenario happening, then okay, the current move down is just going to be a corrective movement into wave 4, and what's next? You know the answer. Another big move up into wave 5, and even at that point our move up is simply not going to be over. Why? Because this white 5 wave up is going to be into this larger degree wave 3, and then correction for 4, another move on the upside into wave 5. Basically, in my opinion, in XRP the bull run is simply far from over, and in the next couple of months I believe we are going to see something very special from XRP. I really find it hard to believe that after 7-year long-term consolidation pattern, we are only going to set an all-time high just by like a very small margin, and then that will be at the end of our bull run. No, consolidations like that usually lead to very strong and sharp extensions, and in XRP, I think we might be just at the beginning, and the show is absolutely, in my view at least, not over yet. Now, let's go on 30-minute time and see what is happening. So, in the previous videos, the idea was that maybe we are having either like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna have another move down into wave 5, which means this might be the beginning of a new move down. And on a higher degree, this 5 down can be into an A leg, correction for wave B, another move down into our C leg, or maybe we are having, excuse me, something like this from this high to about here. This is a 5 wave down, but now into an A leg, correction for wave B, and we're gonna have another move down into C. Question is, which scenario is going to be in play? You see, there is no certainty in any market. We are only at any given moment talking about what is possible, and right now I'm not really having a good answer for you. I think both of these scenarios can be in play, but if you want to put a gun in my head, I'm going to argue this is probably going to be the end of some sort of corrective movement in XRP. Is it going to be an ABC or maybe a WXY? That can be up for debate. The point that I'm trying to make is this. At the moment, my primary case suggests in XRP, sure, we may have another move down and take the lows in here, but overall, we are actually at the end of this whole move on the downside, which means after it's over, we need to see two very important things to be bullish. Number one, we need to see most likely a retest of this very important level, which the higher band of it is about, let's say, $2.8. Number two, after retesting this, we need to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulsive structure up, a very strong move without a whole lot of overlapping of the waves, and followed by that a correction down, a very slow and choppy move on the downside. If we see this, assuming that I identify the right subwaves at that point, trust me, I am going to be extremely bullish in the short term in XRP and call for some huge moves on the upside. And why is that? Because on a higher degree, that 5 wave off of the lows in here that we talked about earlier is going to be most likely into a wave 1, followed by a correction for wave 2, and what's next? Big move into wave 3, 4, 5. And question, what is one very important characteristic of a wave 3? You know it, being strong and sharp. And again, this white 5 wave up at that point is going to be into this larger degree wave 5. So in XRP, I think we shouldn't really be fooled by like some short-term price actions on the downside. No, it's just all part of the bullish process, and I think exciting times are indeed ahead of us. Now let's go on some higher time frames and see what is going on in terms of indicators. Let's start by checking daily chart. Okay, so as you can see, in stock RSI, we are around the oversold region, and this is a really good sign because this suggests bears at the moment are not really powerful, and maybe soon bulls are going to take charge and send the price up. However, if you want to go based on indicators on daily time frame in the short term, I would like to suggest just wait a little bit more and see a buy signal in a stock RSI and also MACD at the same time, because that is going to lead to some decent moves on the upside. So in daily time frame, we are looking kind of sort of decent, but it's not really enough for us to be absolutely bullish. Again, if you want to only go according to indicators from, for example, Class ETA's point of view, as long as we are staying above this level between, let's say, $2.5 to about $2.8, we are absolutely good to go up, and any kind of move down is just going to be some simple noises. Now let's go on weekly time frame and see what is happening, and I am talking about this important signal which in most cases led to an absolute tear in XRP. What do we have in MACD? Finally, we got, after, as you can see, after about 6-7 months, we got a buy signal, and this in my view is an extremely bullish sign. Now sure, I get it, in stock RSI we are around the overbought region and we are starting to sort of kind of have a sell signal, but 2 points. Number one, this signal is not confirmed yet. We need to wait a little bit more until we see a candle close right in here, and at that point, if you see still this signal existing, okay, you know what, that's not going to be necessarily an optimistic sign. And number two, I don't really believe when we are having a buy signal in MACD, a sell signal in stock RSI should be interpreted as like very important and bearish. No, I think if you want to be bearish overall, you need to see sell signals in these two indicators all at the same time. In my view, here is the plan. I think at the moment, since we are having a buy signal in MACD, we are allowed to be bullish with like much more confidence. Also, in terms of Class ETA, since we are still above this important level, this is yet another reason to be optimistic. And sure, because of this potential sell signal in stock RSI, we may see another move down. But I'm going to argue again, as long as we are staying above here, the overall theme in the short term in XRP should be remaining absolutely 100% bullish. And in fact, let's check out a very important example in XRP that led to some very strong moves on the upside, and I think we might be sort of kind of in a similar situation. Okay, so pay attention to this part of the price action back in 2017. What happened? After a very long-term consolidation pattern, we got finally a very strong break, and then right in here we actually had a correction structure, and I think this specific one ended up being a triangle. And what happened next? We got yet another move on the upside, and from here about 18 cents, as you can see, we got almost like a 12-13x move on the upside, which is insane. Now let's just copy the fractals in here and compare it to what we are having currently in XRP. Excuse me. There we go. Okay, let's just add a bit more. There we go. So let's just do this and put this thing around here. Zoom in a little bit more. Sorry about that one. Okay, so as you can see, the situation is very similar in XRP. And in fact, if I just adjust the candles and do this, okay, I think we are right on the bullish track in XRP. And if we are going to do something like this, it seems like that our target can be minimum somewhere around $9 to $10, and this can be indeed the beginning of the next phase of the bull run in XRP's price chart. And also in terms of indicators, we are pretty much having the exact same setup. Why is that? Let's zoom in more. Okay, as you can see, back in this bull run in 2017, in MACD, what did we get? Let's zoom in more. Okay, as you can see, we got a sell signal until right at, yep, this candle, let's say, and we got a buy signal in here. And what happened next? We got a massive move up. And what are we having right now? A very strong move on the upside, this initial phase. And then when we got into this consolidation pattern in MACD, we got a sell signal. And what are we having right now? Once more a buy signal. This is why I'm saying buy signal in MACD in weekly time frame in XRP usually leads to very, very strong moves on the upside. And in my view, this isn't going to be an exception at all. I think in XRP, in the next couple of months, we are going to see some very, very strong price action, and our patience once more are going to be rewarded big time. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in XRP. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.